This system is designed to elevate 3 miracle molecules in the body. Now, if we think about aging for a moment, and really what aging is all about, one thing that if we took this very complex problem, okay, so there are experts all over the world, these PhDs that focus in on what are the changes in genetic expression that occurs within the DNA. What happens with the telomeres? Telomeres are rods that are on the chromosomes, and they shrink as we age. And by the time we reach age 70, our cells can no longer reproduce. There's oxidative stress. So just the process of living creates stress on the body, and this contributes to aging. But one of the things that happens as we age is that we begin to dehydrate. Do you know that when we're born, a child is almost 85% water? And by the time we're in our 70s or 80s, the average is about 60% water. So just the simple act of keeping our body well hydrated is anti-aging. But you can't just do that from drinking regular water. As a matter of fact, as you get older, it makes it more difficult for your body to hold water. And we need another approach. We need what's called structured water, which is part of what we're doing with Core Essentials. We're creating water with our Activate system that is structured and allows for what's called coherence. And when things are in coherence, they're in phase, and everything works properly. So that is all to say that our technology, our products, produce very unique anti-aging effects that you can't find anywhere else. Here's another thing about anti-aging, as we call it. Philosophically, if we're aging, it's not about just living longer. Okay? If the upper lifespan today is 130 years old, that's what's theoretically possible. Many of us might say, well, I don't want to live to be 130 because I don't want all the problems that come with old age. That's really not it. It's not about that. It is about staying younger in the process. Ray Kurzweil, who's considered to be the smartest human being on the planet, he is the chief technology officer for Google. And by the way, he and I are in the same book together, so I'm happy about that. But Ray Kurzweil will tell you that in our lifetime, within the next 20 years, human lifespan will greatly exceed 250 years old, and even beyond. And he thinks, as I do, that within the next 20 or 30 years, that we'll see lifespans greatly in excess of 500 years. But you won't look that old. You'll look 30 or 40 years old. Because in order to achieve that, you actually must keep the body young in the process. And 3 of the miracle molecules in the body that are necessary are HGH, nitric oxide, and SOD. HGH is human growth hormone, and it plays a critical role in helping your body to maintain muscle mass, helping your body to repair itself. Nitric oxide is an incredibly powerful signaling molecule. As a matter of fact, in the afternoon we'll watch a video from Dr. Louis Ignarro, who's a Nobel Prize winner in medicine for his discovery of how nitric oxide improves our health in some very dramatic ways. But when we elevate nitric oxide, we are opening up, it's what's called a vasodilator. We're opening up our blood vessels, allowing blood to flow, improving circulation. And that's pretty important when we think that heart disease is the #1 killer. So keeping our circulation going becomes critically important. Also, improving circulation plays an important role in some other things too, like sexual function. So if we want to grow older and stay younger in the process, we might want to maintain our sex life. And nitric oxide helps with that. SOD is a little bit less well known. This is an antioxidant that is central to our immune system. And this was another part of Core Essentials, actually where I started. Think about this. When was the last time you saw someone that had vibrant health, but yet they were sick all the time? Okay? It doesn't happen. And what that means is that if we want to have vibrant health, the first thing that we should be thinking about is how do we build up and improve the health of our immune system. So where this product started was in coming up with a way that we could improve the immune system, help regenerate our body, accelerate the way in which we repair our damaged tissue. And fortunately, nature has an answer, and it's called colostrum. And actually, colostrum also contains SOD. And if we could go to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, so Core Essentials has 3 products that does this. First, there's Eon, which is our non-transdermal patch product. And Eon is the most powerful anti-aging product that we have. First, Eon, the benefit is that it's going to reduce stress. So immediately, this is going to help you deal with all kinds of problems that come up in life. We're all under all different kinds of physical stress, emotional stress, and Eon will reduce the response to stress in our nervous system. So there's an immediate benefit. But what's going on behind the scenes is that Eon will reduce the biochemicals that are generated, the inflammatory chemicals that our body will normally produce in response to stress. So these are chemicals for you doctors out there. We've shown through our blood tests, urine, saliva tests, that Eon reduces homocysteine levels, lipid peroxide levels, inflammatory cytokines, C-reactive proteins. All of these come down when you use Eon. So it's a remarkable anti-aging product. Then there's Theta 1, which we will talk about in great detail. And there is Theta Activate, which is a silica-based delivery system. Silica has some remarkable electronic properties. And it is able to open up the pores on the cell and allow the nutrients in Theta 1 to be metabolized so that we can feel the benefits of these ingredients. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So let's talk about these benefits just for a moment. Next slide. Okay, so first, one of the benefits that you can expect from the Core Essentials system is a leaner and stronger body. So this means that less body fat, greater strength, greater stamina. And this is possible for a few reasons. First, colostrum contains IGF-1. Now, if there's athletes out there, one of the questions you may have is it legal to use Core Essentials? And the answer is absolutely yes. WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency, states that absolutely colostrum is completely legal. As a matter of fact, a number of years ago, the entire Australian Olympic team was using colostrum for performance enhancement. What is not allowed are synthetic injections of IGF-1. That is a banned substance. But the IGF-1 that is colostrum is naturally found in colostrum, so that makes it legal. Now, IGF-1 is a compound which is produced when you elevate human growth hormone. And it is the biochemical that initiates repair of damaged tissue in the body and also production of new muscle. There's also two forms of arginine that we include in theta-1. And arginine is a natural compound. It's an amino acid, so you can find it in protein like meat. And what's important about arginine, the way that we use it, is that it's going to do two things. It's going to stimulate the body's production of growth hormone, and it will also stimulate the body's production of nitric oxide. So we get both benefits from that. And then lastly, we have potassium. Here's an astounding fact. It's estimated that 98% of the population is deficient in potassium. 98%. And when you consider how essential potassium is to our health as an electrolyte, it's involved in proper muscle contractions, it's involved in maintaining the balance of water in the cell, it's responsible for maintaining the electrical charge around the cell. That we could be deficient in this essential nutrient is a big, big problem. So we have 500 milligrams of potassium that is in theta-1. And that's just one of the reasons why the majority of people that use Core Essentials can actually feel the benefits. Part of it is because of the potassium content. But potassium will help the body maintain its levels of both nitric oxide and growth hormone. And we found that potassium will actually improve the effects of this product. So we get a synergistic effect. So that means that we don't have to use megadoses of arginine. We don't have to use megadoses of colostrum. This is all about creating synergy. Now, another very significant benefit, could we advance the slide? Thank you. Another very significant benefit is that Core Essentials improves the health of the skin. Now, there's a few reasons why this happens. First, when you use Core Essentials, it will elevate the body's levels of antioxidants. So we can actually measure that when you use the Eon patch, your levels of SOD, your levels of glutathione will go up. We also know that SOD is found in colostrum. So elevating antioxidants is one component to improving the health of the skin. Silica, which is found in Activate, also plays a very important role in the health of the connective tissue and the health of the skin. Nitric oxide, because it improves circulation, can also have a toning effect on your skin. So don't be surprised that when you use Core Essentials, you'll feel that your skin is becoming tighter and firmer, and there's even a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. So that's another very significant benefit. It's also a reflection of what's going on inside your body. If your skin looks healthy, it's probably a pretty good sign that what's going on inside your body is going well too, that you're having good health inside your body. Next slide. So, immune system support. When we're first born, our very first food is mother's milk, and mother's milk is colostrum. Now, colostrum is very different than milk. Okay, that's the first thing that you should know. For any of you that may have a sensitivity to milk, if you're sensitive to lactose, colostrum, there's only 0.5% of lactose as compared to a full glass of milk. So you get 26,000 milligrams of lactic acid in a full glass of milk. But you'll only get about 150 milligrams of lactic acid in colostrum. That's one of the differences. But the big, big difference are the immune factors. And the immune factors are called IgG. immunoglobulins. And these are literally the cells, the compounds that allow our immune system to function and to respond to disease. So there's other immune factors as well. But when we're born, our immune system needs a kickstart so that we can survive, literally. And colostrum is what allows our immune system to get going. It allows our body to grow and stay healthy, and even more importantly, adapt. You know, one of the things that we hear about today, it was just on the news yesterday, as a matter of fact, is there's this terrible outbreak of Ebola in Africa. I'm sure you're all aware of it. And one of the things now that scientists are concerned about is, will the Ebola virus mutate and become even more deadly? Right now it's spread through contact, and scientists are worried about, could it mutate so now it would be spread and become airborne? That would obviously be really devastating. But the human body has the ability to adapt as well. And colostrum contains compounds that allow our immune system to modulate or change and adapt to the environment. So even though we have these viruses that mutate, bacteria change, our bodies are capable of responding to these new threats. And so that's probably why the human race and life on this planet has been around for so long, that we're capable of adapting. Okay, the next slide. And so here's a big one, reduction in stress. Do you know that if you were to speak to scientists that specialize in anti-aging, now these are scientists that are looking for ways to keep people younger longer. That's really about what this new generation of anti-aging is, staying younger longer. And reversing that, so that if you're already 60, 70, 80, how can we get the body back to a young, youthful state? So that's very exciting. But when you look at exactly what causes aging, it's as simple as stress. That we place our bodies under physical stress, maybe from working long hours. If you smoke, you're placing your body under chemical stress. If you drink too much alcohol, you're placing your body under chemical stress. If you don't get enough antioxidants in your diet, now you don't have the compounds to help your body fight stress. But it's actually stress, okay? Chemical stress from a variety of different causes that is responsible for the aging process. So the answer is actually very simple. If we can increase our body's supply of antioxidants, if we can elevate our immune system capabilities, then we can reduce the impact that stress has on our bodies. And that's one of the very powerful things that Core Essentials will do. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I'm going to try not to let this one get me in trouble. But you know, this is really an important part of staying younger, and an overall important part of our health. You know, psychologically, that when, and by the way, this pertains both to men and women, is that when we elevate nitric oxide, it will improve sexual performance. And we think of this typically as being for men, but it also helps women as well in their sexual health. Interesting little story is that when the Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to Dr. Ignarro for his discovery of how nitric oxide improved health, and very significantly cardiovascular health, many drug companies picked up on this, and they wanted to find out, is there a way that we can develop a drug for elevating nitric oxide? You know, that's silly when you think of it, because a simple amino acid like L-arginine, if delivered the right way, will elevate nitric oxide. But the drug companies, of course, they want to have a patent on something. And So that's what they look for. So one drug company, Pfizer, they invented this drug, and they put it through clinical trials, and they were looking at it to be a heart medication. And they found that the men that were in the clinical study were getting erections. 60% of the men were getting erections. And the marketing people at Pfizer said, well, we could probably make more money if we sell this as a erectile dysfunction drug as opposed to a heart medication. And that became Viagra. Another interesting fact, there was another company that was also looking at creating a drug to elevate nitric oxide. And in their study, they found that men that used this drug, and women too, they started to grow more hair. And their hair became thicker. And that became Rogaine. So you see, nitric oxide not only plays a role in cardiovascular health, it really affects in the body. When people suffer from apathy, an impairment of satiation. So anything that we do to improve satiation, improving our health, improving the delivery of nutrients, and this will have a very dramatic impact on our overall health. But very specifically, we use two different forms of arginine in Core Essentials, and what we found is that this unique combination of amino acids, along with our delivery system, will have a dramatic effect with men on improving their sexual performance. And I'm told people like that. Okay, so the next slide. So if we were to take a look at what kind of benefits can affect we're opportunity within 18 minutes. If you have Core Essentials, you're able to that this morning, and you're going to most feel improvement in their energy, they'll feel in their awareness, in their memory, their brain function, what's called cognitive function. Most people, even after the first day, will tell us, gosh, I had an incredibly good night's sleep from using Core Essentials. Sometimes even when we were at our very first launch of Core Essentials in January, we had a number of people there that had colds, and they told us that, oh my gosh, within 2 or 3 minutes of drinking Core Essentials, their sinuses cleared. And they would just say, gosh, I just really feel good. So, people will feel this even the very first day. Next slide. Within about the first 5 to 10 days, we get even more remarkable things that are occurring. Many people will come back to us and say that after the first 5 or 6 days, they noticed they lost body weight, and they lost it right from around their waist. So that's an obvious health benefit, and not only to cosmetic benefit, and something that people have really loved about Core Essentials. In California, as you've probably heard, people are very into physical fitness, and we have a huge number of distributors in California. And so because people are interested in going to the gym and staying healthy, we get a significant number of testimonials from people that say, gosh, I'm lifting more weight, I feel stronger, I go and I exercise, and I go running, and I can go longer in less time. Even I have a fellow that I've become friends with in England, and he is a triathlete. And he was number 9 in England last year, and he started using Core Essentials, and he just competed a few months ago, and he finished 2nd in his competition. And what's remarkable about that is the reason why he didn't finish first was because he got hit by a car during the race. He was on his bike, he was in first place, he got hit by a car, He got knocked off the side of the road. He got back up, and he was able to finish the race and still come in second. He was obviously disappointed on one level, but he had a great experience with the product. You within the first week is your signs of skin tightening. Many